guys, and welcome to section 6 of chapter 2 of the pre-algebra program. And in this final section of the chapter, we are going to revisit the coordinate plane, which we talked a little bit about in chapter 1. So the beginning part of this section should be pretty easy review for you. And then we're going to do something new at the end. So in this section, we're going to name ordered pairs. We're going to graph and label ordered pairs. And then we're going to make a table of values and graph 6 sets of ordered pairs. Okay, so to begin, we're going to just plot some points. And we did this in chapter 1, so hopefully this will be a good review for you. Remember that when we're dealing with the coordinate plane, all of our coordinates are written in x, y form. And if you take a look at our graph, you can see that this horizontal axis is our x-axis and the vertical axis is the y. So we always do the x first. So when I plot my first point, I'm moving on the x-axis to -5. So the x positive would be this way and the x negative would be left. So I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's -5. And then I'm going to go up 1 because this is my y value and my y value is positive. So here is going to be the point, -5, 1. Okay, for our second point, on my x-axis I want to find 0. So 0 is right here. And I want to move up, again I have a positive y, so I'm moving up 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I'll make my actual points a different color here. Okay, so that was the point 0, 6. Alright, in my third point now I have 1, -2. So I go to the right 1 on the x-axis. And then I'm going to drop down 2 units. Now my y is negative. So I'm going to go down. So this is my point 1, -2. And then I have one more point here. Both are positive. So I'm going to move to the right 3 and then up 4. And so here is going to be my point 3, 4. Okay, again, I hope that most of this is review. There are more examples for you in the text, but hopefully that will be sufficient and pretty easy to do. Okay, so for our new concept, we're going to be given a function, and a function looks like this. It has an x and a y, and sometimes it has letters, and together it's going to make a line or a circle or some sort of shape for us on the coordinate plane, generally speaking. But in order to utilize the skills that we have in terms of plotting and identifying points, what we would like to do is make a table of values that make this equation true, and then we're going to plot them on the coordinate plane. So as a general rule, when we are constructing tables for equations, we usually choose the numbers -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 to start because they are small and easier to work with, and because it allows us to include negative integers, 0, and positive integers. Okay, so now what am I going to do with these x values? Well, I'm going to plug them in. I'm going to plug them in and find out what my y value has to be. So when I plug in -2, what do I need to add to that to get -4? And now we've spent the whole chapter dealing with adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing integers. So hopefully you can quickly discern that in order to make this true, y has got to equal -2 also. -2 plus a negative 2 equals negative 4. So here in my y column, I'm going to put a negative 2. Now I'm going to do this for the next one. Negative 1 plus y equals negative 4. Now what do I have to add to negative 1 to get negative 4? And hopefully, using your number line, you could come up with negative 3. Negative 1 plus negative 3 equals negative 4. Then I'm going to put in 0. 0 plus y equals negative 4. Now this one should be easy. Of course, y has to equal negative 4 now. What about when x is 1? Again, if I start at 1 on the number line, what do I have to add to get to negative 4? And of course, it needs to be negative 5. And then one more for you. If you have 2 plus y equals negative 4, what does y have to be here? And y needs to be negative 6. Okay, here's our table of values. Actually, I need one more. I realized I sent 6 ordered pairs here, and I only included 5. So if I have 3 plus y equals negative 4, then this needs to be negative 7. Okay, so this skill right here is utilizing several things that we've already learned. It utilizes substitution, where we have to replace a letter with a value. And it utilizes the operations we've just learned with integers. So this is a really important skill. This will be good practice for you. Okay, now I have this whole set of values. And the other piece to these questions is we want you to plot these values. So here are your ordered pairs. They're set up for you nice and neat in this table. So utilizing the same skill like we just did, use green this time, we're going to go negative 2, negative 2, negative 1, negative 3, 0, negative 4, 1, negative 5, 2, negative 6, and 3, negative 7. And what do you guys think that this is going to look like? Hopefully, you see a line, because that's where we're headed. Okay, take a minute and make sure you have all of that down in your notes. And I'm going to do one more example for you. Same type of thing, I want a table of values. So this time I'll include an extra negative here, just to show you a little bit of the difference. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing that we just did. We're going to take our x value and we're going to replace it. And utilizing our multiplication of integers skill, I know that negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9. Okay, now we're going to substitute negative 2. Remember, a negative times a negative is a positive, so that gives me positive 6. Let's do it again. Negative 3 now times negative 1 is going to give me a positive 3. Again, let's plug in 0. Well, anything times 0 better be 0. Now we're going to plug in 1. Now remember, a negative times a positive is a negative 3. And now when I plug in 2, again, a negative times a positive gives me a negative 6. Okay, now we have our ordered pairs all nicely labeled for us. And now we are going to plot them on our coordinate plane. So I have negative 3, and now I'm going to have 9 all the way up here. It's not even on my graph. Negative 2 and we're going to go up to 6. Remember, our y's when they're positive are up. I'm at -1 now to 3. 0, 0 is right here in the center where both the x and the y are 0. Now y is negative, so my x is positive and my y is negative. And similarly with 2, -6. And again, if we connected these dots, what we would see here is a line. Okay, take some time and go through this slowly. Read through the examples in the book and begin your assignment.